Mikey P back in the Money Media YouTube channel, Players Podcast for Assiniboia Downs. And my schedule was a little crazy this week, so this is a very late recording for Wednesday, September 24th. And I can always depend on my buddy Jackson Muniz to help me out whenever I am in a pinch. And, you know he can find a winner at Assiniboia occasionally, so he is with me again.
What's up, Mikey? Yeah, we're gonna stick with big emphasis on the occasionally, but hopefully today is the day. I thought it was a good sequence. We were looking at it earlier this morning. Thought it was one you could be pretty aggressive with it. I thought the 4 races were competitive, but not impossible either. So definitely one I want to get involved in, and like we've been talking about all meet. Love the dollar minimum on this pick 4.
Yeah, dollar minimum. They guarantee it at 50. It's going to go blast way over that. And I was looking today, and the pick 5 obviously is a jackpot bet, but they are going to pay that out as a mandatory payout in a couple weeks on the last Wednesday of the meet. I believe that's October the 8th. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully nobody gets it between now and then. Still play that though, race number 3 tonight, but we're going to look at the late pick 4. Race number 4, it starts 9:50 Eastern time. Remember, dollar minimum. I'm going to start with 3 claimers. A lot of horses that were claimed for higher prices and are being dropped into this spot. Again, only a couple weeks left at the meet. Jackson, they ate a lot of verbs, 8-5 on the morning line after a couple second place finishes. He was claimed for 5,500 by Jerry Gorno last time, and now he drops into this spot for 3,000. Is it all about him, or do you like one of the other droppers?
You know, I get him. I really don't have any huge argument against him. He makes a lot of sense in here, going out for the new barn. He's got a good post. He's on the outside. I just preferred the horse who was inside, 10 for the big guy, who's going to be the other alternative that everyone's going to probably gravitate towards. Coming out of a common race, I think there's about 4 or 5 horses coming out of the same race. And I watched it, 2 or 3 times back, looking for an excuse from someone else that he beat. And I just didn't really see one. I think he's the horse you want coming out of that race. He's drawn well on the outside again. He's going to be the speed on the outside. But if someone else really wants to go, he can just park himself outside of those rivals and get a good trip. So I think he's going to get the jump on the horse on a lot of verve, and I think he's every bit as good, and he's going to be a better price. So give me him, and I'm probably just going to plant my flag early on in this sequence.
Yeah, I like him also. I think he's a use. You mentioned horses coming out of that race, and I don't mind Gallino coming out of that race. I understand what you're saying here as far as not having an excuse, but this horse did make a pretty big move in that race. You get a jockey switch here now too. You get Whitehall on board. That's a big improvement for this horse. Now I realize that he doesn't win very much. He's 6 for 48 lifetime. He's had 1 win each of the last 2 years, but he's always around it, has a lot of shares, and this race could heat up a little bit. The 7's going to go. I think maybe some of these other ones might be a little bit forward. I like that move last time. I like the jockey switch here. It's a little bit of drop for this horse too. I mean, he's been competitive at upper levels at this racetrack the last couple of years. So I do think that he has sort of a closer's type puncher's chance if it does heat up on the front end here. But I will use your 7. I do agree with that last race. That was a decent effort. Then he very easily could have won that race. He just got ground down very late in that. He's 2 starts at the track. He has a win and a second place finish. And that three claiming tag for him doesn't seem to be, quite as a bad thing compared to some of the others in this race. So I don't mind him also. So I was the 5 and the 7. You're just going to go straight to the 7 there to kick off the pick 4 here.
If I was the backup, I would think about the 6. Please, the court does come out of the same race, took a lot of money, and was just a complete no-show. He didn't run a single step on that spot. But the race with 2 and 3 back would make him competitive in here. He's going to be a much better price than he was last time. So if I was going to back up, I would use him, just hoping he can bounce back a little bit.
Jump to race 5 and going 6 furlongs now, and it's an allowance race. It's 2 lifers here, and I was looking to the 1 Crusher Royale. Now, this horse has won its last 2 starts, was disqualified, though, on September 17th for an infraction very early in that race. If you watch that replay back, this horse did come over a little bit, but I thought it was a little bit ticky-tack as far as the DQ goes, and the figure improved there. This horse was getting away late, and I do think that he is very solid versus these types, especially right back in this condition. So I thought that he was a must-use in this spot. And then the 2 Prince of the Prairie, I know this horse has a lot of shares also. Comes out of the stake last time where that was a mile and 1/8. It was 40,000 and they walked around the racetrack there. The winner is actually in this race, the 6, better luck next time. But I'm not sure, shrinking back down off of that slow pace that he's going to be quite as effective. I know he has some 6 furlong wins, but I like the 2 in this race. I like that race 2 back. I think this horse is in sharp form. So I think it's the 1 or the 2 in here. Who'd you like?
Yeah, I was on the one in here. He looks like he's going to be very tough. I agree. I watched the replay back, and I didn't really see much for the DQ, but they did take him down. He was clearly best in there. Now he is cutting back to a one-turn race, but watching his races back, it's not like he's barely getting up going 7. He's breaking those races open on the turn and hanging on and extending the lead. So I don't think the 6 furlongs is going to be a bit of a problem. He's going to be forward in here. He just looks like he's the fastest horse in the race. He's lightly raced. He has the right to improve in here too, being that lightly raced, and he just looks like he's going to be very tough to beat in this spot. So I'm all about the 1. Hoping I think it's be 3 to 5 in here. He's not gonna be 2 to 1. He'll be very, very low, I would think.
Yeah, I think it'll be lower. I'm not sure how much money the 6 will take, especially coming off that stake win. He tends to get bet. If you look back at his lines, some of those lines there, he certainly takes money, and it's Whitehall also there coming off that nice win. So I think that horse could take a little money in the race, but you're right. The 1's going to be bet in here. It's certainly going to be bet in this multi-leg sequence. So I agree though. Tough to find alternatives there. I looked at the 2, but definitely I would be heavy 1 in this race also. Race number 5 on Wednesday at Assiniboia. Well, let's go to race number 6. This is a nickel claimer here, 2 life types and 7.5 furlongs. Interesting distance for this race. Jackson, really tough to find a lot of form in here. This is basically the bottoms at this racetrack. Who'd you like?
Yeah, I thought the favorites looked pretty logical in here. And, I like the 6 a little bit in here. That is Tempting Prospect. He's going to be the biggest price of those 3 logicals. And you look at his form going the 2 turns here at Assiniboia, it's not bad. I mean, the race 3 back came against a way better group. It was up on a hot pace and kind of came apart late. And I thought he ran okay. He didn't run fantastic, but the number came back strong. Then 2 back, he closed at this level, going way too short, went 5.5, was closing late to finish 3rd. Last time I thought was a little underrated because it was a race where he was only 2 to 1, but there was a big favorite in that race that was 1 to 2, and they try to take it to the 1-2 favorite, but other horses won the lead as well, and he was just so wide on each turn. He was, I think, 4 or 5 wide on the first turn. He was at least that wide on the second turn. I thought he actually ran okay to finish 4th in that spot. Now he's in a race that has way less speed than he's seen in the other two-turn races. It's just him in the 1, so I think he's going to be able to just park himself outside of that rival and have every chance to get the job done in this spot. So I'd be heavy on the 6 in here. And if I was going to use someone else, it'd probably be the 7, Attaboy Cookie, the other class dropper. Not the other class dropper, the horse dropping in class from better races. I don't know if this horse wants to run anymore, but he has numbers that are competitive. He's been facing better. And I think if I prefer the 6 as the best of speed, I want to use the 7 as the best from off the pace.
Yeah, I won the spread here, really. I mean, this race has very, very little form whatsoever. And if you look at the 1 Do Not, comes out of a maiden 75, and that was just a week ago. And that race was really, not a good race. He gutted it out. He got a jockey switch. He gutted it out off the drop to win. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how much, he beat in that race. So I was interested in a couple others. I thought the 2 Little Eddie was a little interesting because this is a drop for this horse also. Really had no chance in that Mount stake, that state bred stake there on September the 10th. Some of those horses we were looking at in the previous spot, all of those horses would beat all of these horses guaranteed. So I do think that, that maiden 10 win at the distance back on July 29th kind of sticks out here. This horse is 15 to 1 morning line. So he just has possibilities to me. I know his form lines don't look great, but if you throw out that last race, he looks a little bit better and a little more competitive versus these horses. So I thought that he could be a use in this race. I agree on the 7, and one that's it's just a stranger, right? Just he's been in those allowance races. Now this horse is 6 years old, has 1 lifetime win, but this is a big drop for this horse. So maybe he got Lasix last time, blinkers off last time, a lot of changes. I do think that this drop in class maybe could do the trick versus these types. So I did like those 2. I might back up with the 4. I know that this horse is still a maiden, but I didn't mind this horse last time on September 16th and really just didn't get the right ride in that race at all. It was kind of too far back, made a move late, but way too late. I think the 7.5 could help. And again, this one's 10 to 1 morning line in a race that really there is no form whatsoever. I could use your 6 also. I think that one could be a use in this race. So I'd be looking to spread with prices. The 2, the 4, the 6, the 7 to try to get a little bit of separation in this pick 4 at Assiniboia on Wednesday. Go to race 7 to finish. 7,500 claimers, 5.5 furlongs. Jackson, how are we going to get paid?
Yeah, weird race. I mean, the 2 coming out definitely changed this. He was going to take a lot of money. Now Paco's Pico's 7 to 5 in the morning line. He's probably going to be even lower. If they were to revise, he'd probably be 4 to 5 even money. And, the last number wasn't that strong relative to the rest of the field. It was only 48 buyer. A lot of these horses running high 50s, low 60s. I will say that race has come back a lot stronger than the original number looks. I think all 4 horses that finished ahead of him have improved between 8 and 20 points. So I think you can probably safely upgrade that number. But still, even then, if you do want to upgrade it, 10 points, it's not like he's a standout in this race. He's probably on par with everyone else. So it feels like a horse supposed to try to beat in this race. The 1 makes them sense. I'll use a little bit of the 1, but I really like the horses on the outside, the 7 and the 8. Cumberland Falls, will just start with him. I'm just going to go in order. A horse that just does not like to win, but has been running at this level, running consistently, and been right there lately. And at least he's kind of turned a corner, right? He won 3 back, and then his last 2 is just second and second. So he's in really good form right now. He's a horse that can be forwardly placed, but can also come from way out of it too. He's very versatile running style, has numbers that fit. So I'm going to use him. I'll also go to the outside, Mr. K, another horse. Blinkers going on today, cutting back in distance. But you look back his races earlier this year, his best races are all around 1 turn. So I think the cutback's going to do him some good. He's got a good outside post. Again, a horse that has numbers that fit, and he's going to be a much better price than horses like the 1 and the 3. So I'm going to mostly lean on the outside horses, use a little bit of the 1 as the best with speed as a saver, but I'm going to try to beat this 3 horse in the last race.
Yeah, definitely trying to beat the 3 also in this race. And I agree in the 7, Cumberland Falls. I think a must use in this race. Got a jockey switch last time, lost to a repeater, was favored in there against S3 Life. Now, that's a little bit, I think the class there is maybe slightly lower than some of these others in here, but this horse is in good form and is going to be forward in this race. So I do think that this horse can be forward again and might be able to get the jump. I don't want the 3 at all. I mean, this horse was winning for 6,000 at Turf Paradise, and then had a couple of those, YO Downs lines and things like that. Now that was a tough race that this horse came out of last time, but we're going to see. I mean, we'll see if this horse fits versus these horses. The 1's going to be on the front, though. And I do think this horse won a couple in a row and then ran into a couple nice horses there on August the 26th. Now goes to a new barn here. It's going to be forward again. Probably is going to need to be caught going 5.5. So I think that one you probably need to use. They could go around the racetrack 1-7. And I do think maybe could finish up that way. So I want to have both of those. As far as Mr. K, I understand him. I understand his class, but he hasn't won a race in 2 years over this track. So he's a little bit hard to see. It's just, but he is a dropping. This is a drop for this horse. So he has been facing better. If he gets the right trip, I do think he has possibilities, especially in a race that really could blow up.
Yeah, agreed. It's definitely the most interesting race of the 4 we covered, I think.
Well, $1 late pick 4 to Assiniboia. I know this is a late show here, so the people on the audio side that are used to listening to this, you're not going to get it this week. Sorry about that. But if you're interested, jump into this late pick 4. I think we both are interested in this race and are definitely going to be looking to maybe put some tickets together. Jackson, we've got a couple weeks left at Assiniboia. I do think that the beat rolls on there. There's possibilities for scores. We have that pick 5 that's looming in a couple weeks with the mandatory payout. So get involved.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, we've been harping on this all meet, but it really is the $1 pick 4, the low minimum. It really is a great bet. It's one you definitely want to play anytime you have any kind of opinion, which seems like we do in this sequence. So definitely want to get involved in. And hopefully we can finally get something together. It's been a rough couple of weeks for me. Yeah,
Jackson, always appreciate you. Appreciate your opinions. Definitely, I know we're going to get in on and cash in on one of these late Assiniboia Downs pick 4s here these last couple weeks. Sure, we'll be seeing you soon. I think you told me you're going to go to Keeneland here in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm leaving a week from tomorrow. I'm very fired up. I've been a couple times, but this is the first time I'm going to be there on the opening weekend, and I'm sure it's going to be chaotic. So really, really looking forward to it.
Well, always good to talk to you. We appreciate everybody for checking us out. Get in on Assiniboia Downs. We'll see you guys next time.